What up, dudes? It's Gaz. Happy New Year, and welcome to another Warframe video. So I did take a good chunk of time off there. That's just because there was a lot of stuff going on. Wanted to spend some time with my family members, and had a lot of stuff going on at work. So here we are, finally with a Lavos build guide, and I've actually put a lot of time into playing Lavos in both Steel Path, normal missions, longer missions, etc., etc. So we got the Lavos special for you today. We're going to go over all of his abilities in depth. We're going to show how his stuff works, what I would subsume on him, because I do usually play him with a subsumed ability, personally, and I'll give some opinions on him as well. So, this is your boy Lavos. He actually, I think he looks really, really awesome. He's like, I view him as like a mad scientist frame, but he's supposed to be the alchemist frame. And this dude can infuse different elements on his base abilities. So, let's just quickly go over them. And also, this guy does not have energy. He has no energy pool at all. Mods and arcanes that deal with energy pool do not affect him. Instead, if you pick up an energy orb with this dude, you get this thing that says Valiance block up here. That's going to give you status immunity for 10 seconds whenever you pick up an orb. Picking up another orb will refresh it back to 10 seconds. I think there's a small cooldown on picking up an orb. I think you get down to like around 5 seconds, you can pick up another orb. So some other things with this dude. Like I said, no energy pool. So if you cast an ability, let's cast his first ability, Snake Slap. You cast it, it has a cooldown. As you can see right there, it is ticking down, and you will get your ability back once that cooldown is gone. His third ability, which throws out this drone thing, will reduce your cooldowns for every enemy it hits while it's flying out. It will also proc enemies with electricity. So, first ability, it's Toxin based, Snake Slap. It will heal you and deal extremely low damage. A nice thing about this ability, it will also heal your companion. I don't know if you have to have the companion lifesteal mod equipped, but this will heal your companion nearly back up to full if you have it and you hit some enemies with it. This is actually going to be a very important part of Lavos' playstyle, hitting enemies with Snake Slap. Because there's a couple things we'll go over with this guy. He can die very easily in endurance runs, especially when you're fighting a bombard like this. Alright, so let's get low health here. Let him reload real quick. We might get one shot. Alright, we didn't get one shot. We're going to lock him down. Snake Slap. Depending on how much strength you have, will show how much health you get back from Snake Slap. And of course, hitting multiple enemies, you're going to be basically getting a guaranteed full heal there. Also, if you hold down the Snake Slap ability, it will put Toxin Juice into your passive. This little icon right here shows which imbued element you have ready to go. You can actually push 2 buttons at once to put 2 elements at the same time. So if we are going to use, let's use the second ability, which gives you cold damage, has built-in cold into the ability. We put in Toxin and Cold, now we have viral damage. We can use Snake Slap to do viral and Toxin. When you do a combined element like that, or any element, it will split the damage of the ability half and half. So this ability now does Toxin and viral. And that will be the same case for the other ability as well. You cannot fully remove the base elemental of the ability. As you can see right there, viral and Toxin. It will always do the base damage type of that ability as well. So it's not really it's a good passive. This guy also has Condition Overload built into his 4. I kind of wish he had Condition Overload built into his 1 as well, but that's neither here nor there. So his second ability is going to give you, as I said, Cold Elemental imbued into your abilities. It's also going to be a -4. I believe it's called Vile Rush. This is my least favorite ability on Lavos. As you can see, of course, it does have a cooldown like the others. This is rushes you forward, creates a status area on the ground. You can double tap it to create a status area. The amount of vials you drop will scale with the range on your build, and as you can see, it does proc them up very nicely. Of course, we could do whatever we want. We want to put viral on the ground. This will make it where it's guaranteed viral procs wherever you dash to. Now, there's a couple problems with this ability, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you can proc people up in the area very easily, but you cannot steer this thing. You are basically stuck in here. You cannot steer where you're going. Also, you are not invincible during this, so you will be moving fast enough. The enemies will probably not be able to catch you, but it's a very clunky feeling ability. This is actually the ability I subsumed off, even though a lot of people would be like, well, you want to keep that ability on because it puts the cold juice into the cup and will let you get viral damage. I personally don't feel like I need that, because I am normally using him with a viral proccing weapon, like his signature shotgun, which is extremely good with him, by the way. The Ceto. We have a full video on the Ceto on the channel. This will proc them up with viral very easily, without a ribbon, honestly. Here's just one shot from the Ceto's alt fire. So, I mean, they're pretty much dead for Condition Overload there, as far as I'm concerned. And he's like about 5 viral procs. About 6 if we're really try-harding there. So, very good. We could definitely weight it more into viral if we wanted to. As you can see, Condition Overload tears him apart. We briefly went over the third ability here, which is his Transmutation Probe, I believe it's called. So if we use an ability like Snake Slap, it's got about 7 seconds. Hit that guy with the drone. It reduces the cooldown of your ability for every enemy hit. So if you have like 10 enemies in the area, your abilities of your cooldowns of your abilities will be basically gone if you hit all those enemies with your drone. This also does work on subsumed abilities on Lavos. So, like I said, if you don't like maybe the first ability or the second ability for whatever reason, you can actually reduce the cooldown of your subsumed ability. Because, like, for example, if you subsume on, I think Pillage is like a 15-second cooldown, you are going to need to, you will not be able to spam it as well. So that's why Lavos is not a very good shield gating frame at all. That's something to keep in mind. So yeah, you will need to hit some enemies. The subsumed choice I went with is Ensnare from Korra. I found it to be very synergistic with Lavos' playstyle. But before we get into that, let's just go over his final ability, the fourth ability, real quick. This is basically Lavos' most powerful ability. And this is really strong. It's honestly really strong. It's got base heat damage, so you can make elementals like radiation or whatever with this. You combine it. This is going to be the plague drones, or I think it's called cannibalize or something like that. You throw out the drones, they travel outwards. These go through walls. They've got base heat. They will stun the enemies and heat proc them, also dealing a moderate chunk of damage. This ability's damage gets multiplied by Condition Overload as well. So the more enemies you hit, or the more procs you have on the enemy, the more damage it will deal. As you can see, this guy is basically done for. It can annihilate. These guys are level 180. And of course, there's a heat proc damage over time afterwards. So, yes. My main playstyle on Lavos is to basically use the Cedo shotgun, which is his signature weapon. Like I said, very, very good. It's probably the best signature weapon with synergy to the frame in the entire game. And you honestly don't even need to put different elements on the 4. Let's just let's put corrosive on it. Sure, these guys aren't even weak to corrosive; they're weak to radiation. But let's give it a shot. Also keep in mind, if you do put a combined element in your cup, you cannot get rid of it until you can just use Snake Slap to get rid of it. But yeah, if we want to put on like, oh, I'm like, I don't want corrosive, I want heat. You cannot put gas on there or whatever you want until you get rid of it. I'd say just keep Snake Slap to get rid of the element right away. So let's proc them up, hit them with corrosive. And they're so done for, it's not even funny. Of course, those guys weren't very procced up and they get the brunt of the damage, but that's okay. Throw that 3 out, get that 4 back really quickly. As you can see, it is a 30-second cooldown on that 4, guys. So you're definitely going to want to hit a lot of enemies with your 3 to get it back faster. That was a ult-focused build. So this is the build I'm going to recommend to you with no subsumed. It's going to be very high range focused. As you can see, we have 235 range, nearly maxed. You do not need to run Prime Sure-Footed on this guy. You can if you want to, but like I said, if you pick up an orb with your passive, it will give you status immunity for 10 seconds. So if you are picking up enough energy orbs, you do not need Prime Sure-Footed because you will be not getting knocked over by anything. So that's pretty good. Like I said, if you want to, you have the Forma again. Just put a D polarity up here. You can fit Prime Sure-Footed up on that Exilus slot. So yeah, I do value range on him very highly, especially when we go into the subsumed ability, which is Ensnare. Like I said, this will let you group enemies up really easily. Hit them with your drone, you get Ensnare back instantly. Another thing about this is the more efficiency you have on your build, the more time reduction you get from hitting an enemy with Transmutation Probe. It's 0.6 with this negative strength or negative efficiency, sorry, with Blind Rage at level 7, I think it is. So if you have a max blind rage, you'll be getting hardly anything back. But then again, like, you could just be using your weapons to kill enemies for the most of the time as well. Like I said, Arcane Energize does not work on this dude. So I put on Arcane Grace and Guardian, makes them relatively tanky. Because when you're fighting it's about level 200, the bombards will start one-shotting you. Because the Augur mods do not give you a overshield or any shield back on this guy because you're not spending any energy. So that's one of his big problems. You could definitely go, if you're trying to like focus on an endurance, you could do Rolling Guard, just hope to God that if you see every bombard before it shoots you. But that is one of his big problems for sure. So we've got Umbral Intensified Vitality to make it so you are getting a decent health pool and some good strength. You definitely want high strength on him to make it where your 4s can do even more damage. It will make it so your 3 can even kill low-level enemies with that 500 electric damage. And Snake Slap, it does about 2,000 damage. In actual, like, survival missions, you're not going to kill enemies with Snake Slap. It's more of like a normal mission killing ability. And then Viral Rush does basically 0 damage. But, you know, the more range you have, the more vials you throw. So that's pretty good. Yeah, and then we got Natural Talent, because I find his casting times very long. I don't know if we had Natural Talent. We didn't. Yeah, the build I showed at the beginning, this is an ult focus spammer build. As you can see, we have high efficiency. Every enemy we hit with the Transmutation Probe with this build, the nuker build, is going to give you 1.7 second reduction. So that will make it where it's very easy to get your 4 back. On the normal build and the Helminth build, it is definitely, you are not getting your ult back as fast, but that's okay because you're also using Ensnare to get it back right away as well. Or get the enemies in one spot so you hit more enemies easily. If you put Ensnare on this ult spam build, maybe on the 2 or on the 1 if you wanted to, you will spam his 4. So that's pretty nice. Although it does have lower range, to keep in mind. Alright, so let's just quickly show the build I would recommend to you. And like I said, there are some things I'm not going over. I'll quickly show his shotgun. So this is a full Conditioner Overload status focus build right here with Lingering Torment and then Radiation Viral, because this thing, you don't need to do heat because it has built-in heat with the explosion on the glaive. This is what I'm going for here. Very high status chance, about 215% status chance per hit on the glaive. And, of course, multi-shot's going to help you out there, too. Another thing you want to do if you're running him, you want to definitely be running Conditioned Overload on your melee weapon because he will do lots of procs. If you're keeping the 2, you'll get a bunch of procs there, too. So, every status effect on the enemy will increase melee damage by 120%. And, yeah, you can just basically focus a slash-focused weapon with Conditioned Overload. Is going to be really good on Lavos. Also, like I said, he does not have energy, so you don't even need to run Xeneric. You can run any other focus school you want, or you could even run Xeneric for that, potentially giving your teammates energy regen. He's not a great support, to be honest, but he can do, he supports in the sense where he gives everyone Condition Overload proxing enemies. His 3 also will make the energy orbs into universal orbs, I believe it's called. Universal orbs that will provide both health and energy, and then he will make ammo pickups, universal ammo pickups. Not super important, but kind of nice. So he's not a huge support. He's more of a selfish frame, kind of like a it's like a mix of Saren and Anaros, I guess I'd call it. So let's summon like 10 heavy gunners and 10. I'm gonna show mission gameplay. It's more important to show the mission gameplay. Let's just quickly show him killing these guys in the simulacrum. He is pretty good in missions, honestly. I do recommend him. He comes from the Orphix Venom mission. So let's just do that really quick. Kill some guys really quickly. Alright. Oh, well, we didn't get to really use him much because his 4 just nuked them down. Well, let's just hop into mission gameplay. How about that? And I'll show how he works in mission. Let's start with the, this is him corrupted in a fissure. I'll show the Steel Path gameplay right after that. I do think he is pretty good in Steel Path. But like I said, if you get to about level 200 bombards, they will one-shot you. Your shield getting goes away, and if you can't get your shield back somehow, which he does not have many ways of getting his shield back, you are just dead. I would say if you're trying to do an endurance run with Lavos, try to get a method of getting your shields back. Potentially rebuild shields or pillage. Pillage would probably be your best bet, and there would be enough enemies spawning in like the Steel Path where hitting like a good chunk with your Transmutation Probe will reset pillage's cooldown. Okay, so there he is. Like I'm using Ensnare here, of course. So that's the playstyle, basically. Ensnare the enemies. They'll all get pulled into the same area. You can use your Lavos Tito shotgun to proc them up, and then use your 4 to kill them all. Here is the Steel Path. Well, actually, let me clarify that. You use your 2 Ensnare from Korra to grab all the enemies together. Then if your 4 is on cooldown, you throw the 3 into that big area to reduce the cooldown of your 3. If you get low health, use Snake Slap to go back to full health. It's actually a very nice heal for Lavos, as he is not allowed to rely on shield gating. You get low health. Say you get down to like 700 health, Snake Slap once, you're back to 1500 health with this build. Of course, you have a maxed out Umbral Vitality. You'll have more, like about 1750 health. So it's a similar situation. He is relatively nice. So yeah, so some things I actually think that he should definitely have changed. I do consider him a good frame, honestly. I do. I consider him a good frame, not a perfect frame. I think some quality of life things would be nice. I'd say, as far as the his passive where he puts elementals on his abilities, I'd say my suggestion to make him less annoying to play, and I've heard whisperings of doom that holding abilities on console is a nightmare on controller. I guess you can play controller on PC as well. I've heard holding down abilities on controller is really annoying. I play on mouse and keyboard, so I'm not entirely aware of it, but I've heard it's annoying to do. You are holding down lots of abilities on this guy to get these elements on your weapon, or on your abilities. So I'm holding down the 1 and the 3 at the same time. Because like I said, you can hold down multiple abilities at the same time to get corrosive instantly, to get viral instantly, to get gas instantly. I don't even know, is holding 2 abilities at the same time on controller even possible? So I'd say make it where if you put an elemental combination into the passive, you hold on to it until you want to get rid of it. Say like you have to hold another ability to get rid of it. Because it's also very annoying. Every ability cast, you lose the elementals in your passive. So say once you put it in there, you hold it until you try to put another one in there. Because holding abilities is something that I'm not always doing in the first place anyway. And it make it a lot less tedious. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even, as you can see in this gameplay, I'm not even putting corrosive on my 4. I'm just letting it stay in, I'll put gas on it sometimes, just for funsies, but I'm just leaving it as heat most of the time, honestly. It's too annoying to have to, like, just re-put it in there again, Like, oh, I used my 1 when I had to use it. I have to re-put the juice in the cup again. That's relatively annoying. The third ability cannot have its cooldown reset in any way. It's going to be a 10-second cooldown regardless. So maybe like hitting enemies with his 2 would make it so you reduce the cooldown of his 3 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that would just be too spammy in DE's eyes. I don't personally find the Transmutation Probe cooldown too frustrating, but there are a lot of times where I kind of wish I could just use it. And, you know, I'm not absolutely spamming his 4, but like I said, there is a alt spamming build that we do have in this video. So if you want to try that out, I'd say put Ensnare on there, like I said, as well. You could technically put Larva on there, but Ensnare, it works through walls. And since his 4 also kills enemies through walls, I found it to be appropriate here. If the enemy's stuck to the wall, you just use Lavos 4. If they're not super high level, they'll still die. And yeah, I like him. I do like Lavos. I was thinking about putting an Umbra Forma on him, but I also want to first see if he gets any buffs to come out. If he gets buffs that make him like overwhelmingly stronger, I'll definitely put Umbra Forma on Lavos. But I'm also keeping multiple Umbra Forma for Wraith. I think I'll be putting at least 2 or 3 Umbra Formas on Wraith, and then Nidus Prime will be coming out. I mean, it's 2021 now. Nidus Prime will be coming out sometime this year, hopefully. And if you bet, Nidus Prime's getting at least 1. So, yeah, I got to keep those Umbra Forma around. I know we're getting them from Teshin now, which is kind of nice. But, yeah, so this is mostly what Lavos is all about. If you don't want to use the Cedo Shotgun, which I do think is very, very highly recommended on Lavos, you could, of course, use the Kuva Nucor. The Kuva Nucor also procs them up really easily. It also lets you get the viral procs you want much easier as well. So let's just show that in a simulacrum with the Kuva Nucor instead. We'll use a magnetic Kuva Nucor just because his 4 has condition overload built in. Yeah, but he is fun to play in mission, definitely. I was just having a good time using the Cedo Shotgun, procking them all up. Even with the condition overload focus build, the Cedo Shotgun can kill these Steel Path enemies, so, you know, have some fun there. And, of course, if you are CCing enemies with Ensnare and all that, you are not going to die, really, because they'll be stuck and can't even fight you, so that's pretty good. Alright, so let's just quickly show it with the Kuva Nucor, and then we'll call it a video, guys. Alright. So this is a Kuva Nucor with magnetic innately, so we've got magnetic, viral, radiation, and heat. So pretty good stuff there. Yeah, I mean, it's going to just kill them. I mean, let's actually put the Ensnare build on, too, just so I can show how Ensnare works really quickly without, like, being in a mission gameplay. Alright, so they're all going to get grabbed up from up to 23 meters away is the radius. You can cast it from 70 meters away. And it should just kill them all. I mean, they're going to be right there in front of my face. And yet, I mean, the one-shots thing it's probably not a big deal for most people, honestly. And, like, we didn't even... Okay, see, it didn't kill them right there, because the Cedo actually does give you more procs. So maybe if we would have put, like, Corrosive on our build, or on our 4, maybe it would have actually one-shot them there. But yeah, those extra procs from the Cedo, where it gives you the IP, or it gives you Toxin, all the base elementals, that does actually make a big difference on Lavos, which is why I highly recommend the Cedo and Lavos together. So, hopefully you guys found this helpful. You know, more videos coming out. Okay, so here's the plan. If you made it this far in the video, you're about 20 minutes in. Good job, dude. the plans for the upcoming videos. We're getting back on those daily uploads. I've been busting my butt getting those videos ready, guys. We're going to be, okay, so it's 2021. We are going to be focusing on anti-corpus lich technology because I've been preparing for this for months. So I'm going to show all that good anti-lich stuff, or good anti-corpus stuff. We're going to do some, I think the Necromech event will probably still be live. Maybe work on that a little bit. At this point, I mean, the Necromech event's pretty boring. It's so much waiting around, and Bone Widow's not really worth it because they patched the thing I was going to show you guys, which was attacking the Chondrix before it even spawned. Yeah, you could do that for a little bit, but they patched it in time. So, yeah, I mean, just basically you just kill the Sentients, you get more points. I mean, who really cares? I will see you guys in another video. Lots of stuff coming out, and keep an eye on the channel. Thanks for all the support, guys. I appreciate it a lot. Peace.